same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Husker fans, this season, Nebraska is celebrating 50 years of Husker women's basketball, and they need you to help celebrate. You've shown up for women's hoops from the start and continue to prove that Nebraska fans really are the best in the nation. On Sunday, January 26th, the Huskers face Big Ten opponent Ohio State, and they're calling on all Husker fans to help pack PVA so they can celebrate 50 years of Husker women's hoops together. Get your tickets now and be a part of this historic season. For event and ticket information, go to huskers.com/tickets.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400. Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Hello, I am Ayanna Blake. Welcome to Mind Your Mind. In this new chapter of our lives, let us focus on the things we can control. This week, I was passing by the television and overheard Mel Robbins talking about her newly released book titled The Let Them Theory. She said, the message with the Let Them Theory is that no matter what's going on outside of you, the power is always inside of you. She went on to say, the two words, let them, are the key to helping you see what's in your control and what's not in your control. Let's take a brief second to acknowledge what we can control. We can't control others. We can't control their actions, beliefs, responses, or lack of. I encourage you to center yourself on things you can control and watch the gift of peace overtake you. I am Ayanna Blake, reminding you to mind your mind. For more inspiration, connect with me on social media or visit AyannaBlake.com. Until next time, take care of your mind and keep moving forward on your pathway to wellness. And remember, let them.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Chancellor Brewington, powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
That's right. It is time for What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington here on 93.7 The Ticket, live from 1040 O Street. I'm Jake Balkovin in studio alongside your host, Chancellor Brewington. And Chancellor, I got to ask you, what's brewing today?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. That's what's brewing. I always start off with how I'm doing. And Bach, how are you doing?
I'm feeling pretty good today. It's a little cold for my liking, but other than that, it's feeling pretty good.
Fan of the cold, Bach?
No, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I always wonder why I live in Nebraska through the winter.
Yeah, it's not my favorite, but I will say it's like, you know, there's times where you appreciate it. You know, you go inside, it's nice and warm. You get your little, I don't know, you're a coffee guy.
No, I don't.
No?
Not too much. I mean,
Okay.
hot
Maybe
chocolate.
a
Or
little
something.
hot chocolate,
Yeah.
and watch a little movie or read a book, something like that. But no, I think for me at least, man, like just learn to appreciate it. But then there is a time where it's like, this is too much. It's too much. I remember back last year, it was like -44 in January one
Yeah.
day. Yeah, like, come on, let's move on with it, right? And it's windy, right? But no, that it's all good, man. And I'm doing good, man. I'm full of life. I like to say that just because I am, and I think it's the acknowledgement, like, man, like I am full of life, and I am, going where I'm supposed to go and where I want to go, and every day is a a day to become more aware of like the potential inside of me. And I think that's a a thing for everyone. I think, to acknowledge, all that's inside of us every day, and a step towards that. Because I don't think we can really ever fully understand how much we're capable of doing and being, and like who we are and what we're capable of. I think, but a day, each day, in the right direction of your awareness of who you are and your relationship to others, because you learn more about yourself. I learn more about you, because we're all created the same way. And then I learned more about, the person who created, or the entity or whatever that created us. And so like, it's just a revolving door of awareness. And I think as it goes up, I think quality of life goes up. I think your appreciation for life goes up. I think your ability to, be more effective at the workplace, relationships, and just emotional intelligence, and I would say income, and everything encompasses that. So I think I think one of man's greatest objectives is to understand I would say his oneness with that with is, and I would say the is whatever you want to call it. You can call it spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, creator, universe. But I think that's what we should strive for. And I think it's inside of all of us. I think we're constantly trying to let that perfection express itself with and through us. So with that being said, we're in this battle right now. I would say an unwritten battle in Nebraska with the trying to get this tackle out of New Mexico. I guess I want to break that down a little bit for the fans out there and for us in here, and just say, like, what does a recruiting battle look like? Right? A guy comes and takes a visit at Nebraska, doesn't commit, of course, right? But then obviously has an opportunity to go and go to Michigan and go other places. If you're Nebraska, Bach, what are you selling? What are you selling to this tackle from New Mexico State? Like, is it more of a money thing? Obviously you have to, feel him out, of course, but you think it's more of a money thing? Do you think it's more of a what we're able to provide on the field, off the field, resources? What do you think it is, Bach?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely playing time is going to be part of it, and along with that is kind of the need for a tackle is going to bring about it some probably a little bit of additional cash than normally would. So I think that those things obviously kind of stand out, but I think that when you're being sought after in the portal, especially to the level he is, you kind of got to look for those differentiators, right? Because Michigan can bring money. Michigan, if they're looking for him at this point, is probably can sell some playing time as well. So hopefully you make that connection with them as a coaching staff, and whatever that may be. Maybe it is faith based, maybe it's just ideology, or
Right.
on the field, off the field, whatever it may be. I think that ultimately could be the difference maker here. Obviously, Dylan is a big part of it. The offensive line that they're building, the wide receivers, all of that. But again, when it's down to Nebraska, Michigan has some on-field selling points as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I mean, you think about, I would say it's probably more well known to, not only Nebraska, but just the nation, like who the highest paid player on Nebraska is. I mean, if you just go by logistics, you can find out it's number 15. And then if you go a step further, it's like, okay, who's going to protect 15? Like what does 15's success depend on? I mean, you look at, that's the offensive line, I would say, and receivers. You covered receivers, offensive line. So if there's, Lincoln Riley, he talked about it earlier this year of this spending cap and having enough money to pay these players and all this stuff. And obviously we have 15, I believe it's 16 portal guys right now. And we talked about it. I mean, that number is going to go up. I believe Indiana brought in around 25 to 30 guys in the offseason, with Kurt Signetti's philosophy. But I mean, I think you break the bank in some cases. I mean, I don't think, you can take your chances and maybe see in the spring if there's going to be a tackle, but nothing's guaranteed. Especially the tackle caliber, the caliber of this player, and being a Nebraska, knowing that you're not Bama, you're not Ohio State, you're not Texas, and really, I mean, being in a battle with Michigan is you tip your hat off to Nebraska, because I'll say this, although Michigan had a slow year, would you say that Nebraska and Michigan right now are eye to eye in program levels?
No, because Michigan's coming off a national title 2 years ago. That, and despite their win-loss record this year, they beat Ohio State, they beat Alabama. They were very eye-grabbing national victories.
And if you look at the revenue share, they're one of the 20 plus $1 million teams, right? So if you break down that, I mean, per player and first string, second string, especially left tackle, right tackle, I mean, compared to what he would get at Nebraska, unless Nebraska matches that, right? That's night and day difference. If you just look at just revenue share, and then I would say per player per position and depth too. I mean, Michigan wins that, right? So if you're not Nebraska, you're going to have to go up, obviously, and pay with that, but also you're going to have to match that in some other type of value. It doesn't always have to be financial. It could be relationship, and I think that's where Coach Raiola comes in. And, I've been able to see him around players and stuff. And one thing about that O-line room consistently is that they love and respect him, and that it's constant across the board. No matter if you're the, fourth guy on the depth chart, if you're starting guy, there's a constant respect for him and the way he does things and the way he approaches the culture of an O-line room. He's really developed that room to a really, really tight knit group. So for some guys, that's really attractive. They know, okay, O-line is a position where the left tackle has to work in harmony with the guard, and this guard has to work in harmony with the right guard, and the center is obviously the captain of the ship. And maybe there's a chemistry there with this, and this, and maybe you never know. There's backstory with him and Raiola. You just never know. So I think if you're recruiting him, you have to find out what it is that you can match in value to finances. And if you can't, you got to sell it on resources and all these different things, and obviously let the powers that be just do what it does. But I think there is a special place for Nebraska recruiting the way it does, because I think they focus on culture. They focus on, I would say, rules big on the development of the individual, of the player. Obviously the resources and I would say the facilities are top notch. You're not going to find those anywhere else. I mean, maybe some Bama places, maybe, Clemson, A&M, LSU, a couple places, but I think, Nebraska's top tier with all that. And so I guess it's really, really honing in on that, because if you can't match the finances, you got to match something else. And that's just my take on it.
Now, I don't know how much of it came down to when you was there a recruiting battle to get you, or was there kind of going through the players prospect or side of it? Because like you said, I mean, it's just hard at certain times to really, it's going to be a different thing for a different guy. And some, these days it might more come down to money, but especially early, before it was kind of, what is specifically going to grab this guy's attention might be different than the next guy.
Yeah, I think, well, the game has changed so much since 2020 to now. It's almost like 20 years of it's changed. So even from 20 to 21, it's just dramatically different. From 21 to 22, crazy change. 23 to 24, crazy change. So I I would say now, I would say it goes by player. I would say money is a high thing on people's priorities. Rightfully so. I mean, it's to each his own, of course. The individual only has the player has 4 years to play. It's not like this thing where I think people have to understand, like, we've seen some unreal talent come into college football and tear ACLs and tear labrums and, compound fractures and broken foots and, just you don't know what's going to happen. And you don't know, you break a foot and all of a sudden a guy comes in and Wally Pip, like you don't really know what's in store for your college career. So financial security for some guys who just to be frank, grew up with nothing. And this is their chance, and maybe the NFL isn't so sure for them, right? And they want to get it now. And that's to their liking, and that's to their values and their moral system. And that's no knock on that. I think for me, if I was in this day and age, it would really be what fits me. I think if I was to go back and I don't like doing this, talking about this, but like if I was to go back and do college over again, whatever, it would just be like, okay, what are my strengths as a player? What do I do differently? And can a team honor that and fit that into their philosophy, or do I fit into theirs? Right. That's really the question. Do I fit into theirs? Because a lot of teams or coaches or players across the United States will say, yeah, we're going to create this package for you and whatever. I think really it's the question of inside of their offense already, what do they have for me? Not what they're going to create, right? Like, what do they have for me? Like, if I'm a speedster, like, what's his face? Who just left? Jalen Lloyd.
Yeah.
Right. He just left to Oklahoma State. So if I'm him looking at Oklahoma State, I'm looking at their offense and I'm saying, okay, where do I already fit in? I'm not banking on, this offense coordinator selling me on, yeah, we're going to do some jet sweeps 2 times a game with you. And no, I'm not going to. I need to know exactly what you guys have done already and where I fit in that. And I think that would be a formula for success for a transfer guy, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of things. And I'm always kind of intrigued too. Like, it's kind of funny. Like, how much do you get along with the guys, on your visit?
Yeah.
Can always be a difference maker, which is kind of it's funny. You walk away like, I kind of like that guy.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll consider that. All right. We're listening to Chancellor Brewington here on What's Brewing, and we'll be back with more after this.
.93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see partly sunny skies with light winds. International high around 22. Tonight, increasing cloud cover with calm winds, low around 13. And tomorrow, we'll see mostly sunny skies return with light winds. International high near 39. I'm meteorologist Kyle Gleck from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to hear their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Hello, I am Ayanna Blake. Welcome to Mind Your Mind. In this new chapter of our lives, let us focus on the things we can control. This week, I was passing by the television and overheard Mel Robbins talking about her newly released book titled The Let Them Theory. She said, the message with the Let Them Theory is that no matter what's going on outside of you, the power is always inside of you. She went on to say, the two words, let them, are the key to helping you see what's in your control and what's not in your control. Let's take a brief second to acknowledge what we can control. We can't control others. We can't control their actions, beliefs, responses, or lack of. I encourage you to center yourself on things you can control and watch the gift of peace overtake you. I am Ayanna Blake, reminding you to mind your mind. For more inspiration, connect with me on social media or visit AyannaBlake.com. Until next time, take care of your mind and keep moving forward on your pathway to wellness. And remember, let them.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
That's right. We are back on What's Brewington here from 93.7 The Ticket Studios. I'm Jake Bakoven in studio alongside your host, Chancellor Brewington. Chancellor, what do we got brewing for the second segment here on the show?
Yeah, so it just came to my attention that A.J. Brown was reading a book on the sideline during one of the Eagles games. They were up, of course, but was reading on the sideline. And if you've watched the show, we done book reviews. I haven't read on the show, but we done talked about some books on here. And Bach brought it to my attention. I think it's phenomenal. So you're gonna have to give us the real story, because I'm still kind of new to this.
So now Nick Sirianni, the Eagles head coach, is even being asked about it on radio programs. But A.J. Brown, in their win, of course, a wild card playoff victory over Green Bay, and they had a 2-possession lead or whatever it was, but it was a game that was interesting enough down into the fourth quarter. But the cameras caught him reading on the sideline while the defense was on the field, and it's since become somewhat of a story. The book Inner Excellence has now taken the top spot on Amazon's trending list after the attention that it's getting. It was previously ranked, and this according to ESPN, 523,497. So it's quite the jump for Inner Excellence. But it's also just interesting. A.J. Brown has since kind of spoken on it too, saying that he just likes to read, or guys find different ways to find peace or focus or whatever it may be that you're trying to do before you get back out on the field. And he said he wasn't reading because he was discontented. He just likes to read some passages that bring him a sense of peace.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I look at this like so many different ways. Of course, like I picked up reading after my career, so I don't know what it would have been like to crack open a book on the sideline. I mean, if I would, that's tough. And I would assume, based on what I'm seeing on the book, it's called Inner Excellence, and it has like a PGA Tour foreword, by a quote saying, this book has helped me in my game. So I would assume that it has some type of sports, that it's just not some like, as a man thinketh, right? It's just some, good new thoughts, a lot of philosophy. But even if it was, I guess the part that I guess people would have to understand is how someone gets into their mode, how someone gets into their quote unquote zone. And some people, it is, for me, it was get up. Like I have to get up, get my, I don't know, the juices, my heart rate. I would have to get everything up, my emotions, everything up, and then I'll keep it there, and then I would mellow out. For some people, they have to figure out a way to get down, right? Because they're so amped up, and I could only imagine in a playoff game and all those things. But that's so interesting, and I wonder what specific passages he was reading. I saw a Jalen Hurts thing that he hasn't seen him read a whole bunch, but maybe this is something that when he comes off to the sideline, it's just a reminder, and it resets his thinking. Because sometimes I know in football you can get in a pattern, especially receiver. I don't know if I think he only caught a couple balls that game, maybe only one. Sometimes you get in a pattern of, in the game, you're not getting the ball, this, and this, and maybe something goes the way you don't want it to. And then you can come back to a passage and maybe already have like a pattern of thought around a certain passage and say, okay, when I think of this, it leads me to this, and this thought, and this thought calms me down and restructures and, helps me, see this and reason with this situation differently. So I love it, to be honest. I don't know if I could have done it though. I was maybe the smelling salts type of guy.
There you go.
You're like, yeah, like, I would always find the strength coach and get the smelling salts and get a whiff and go back on the field. I don't know if I could sit on the sidelines and read, The Alchemist story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I could do that. But now that, I guess, the different like level of consciousness that I have now, I would maybe play with it. I got basketball games tonight, Bach. I might bring my
try it out.
I might bring my Ralph Waldo Emerson out there, and during timeouts or whatever, I might flip it open and read a couple passages, just like A.J. Brown. He might have inspired me.
Well, and I think too, you just kind of think through it, is that maybe it's okay because of A.J. Brown's star power, but if you had a guy that was maybe not getting in and out of the game, then it's inappropriate to read.
Yeah. I guess it's all to the coach's liking, because I don't know if Dan Campbell could get behind that, right? Like,
Coaches.
and so maybe what's the Dolphins head coach? What's his name?
Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel. I was gonna say McDonald. Mike McDaniel. I mean, maybe he would get behind that a little bit, and maybe a Vrabel would kind of be like, nah, we don't do that, or maybe it's just different, and I know if someone has a Bible or some religious text, they would, no one's gonna say anything, right? But maybe more people are gonna do it now, and maybe it's a psychological way to reset, and I think there was always these little, for me, it was like I'd always play with my gloves. Like, say I like dropped the ball or something didn't go my way. I learned from a sports psychologist that every player should have a mental reset. And so it would be like some type of, physical motion that would reset. Some guys would tie their shoes. Some guys would, readjust their chin strap, or just reset mentally. And so every time you do that, all the negative thoughts, would go away and you would just start new. Right. And so for me, it was like, I would reset my gloves. Like, I would tighten my gloves, reset them. And then by the time I was done with that, I would conclude basically that all the negative thinking in the past moment was behind me, and all that is good is in front of me and is now. Like, that's how I would do it. And so that helped me out. So maybe for him, he takes a step further in between whatever after. And I think the number one thing for a coach would be, you have to make sure you're getting the coaching on the sideline, because coaching doesn't just happen before, on the weekdays and all those, you get in-game coaching and in-game adjustment, especially at receiver. The corners rolling coverage here, or I would say safeties rolling coverage here, or this is happening. So there's adjustments that happen in the game, so you can't be cracking open inner excellence while the coach is telling you your route adjustments versus cover 2 that changed, or press bail your route adjustment, right? So you obviously have to switch that up, right? And I doubt he's doing that, and it's in circumstance too. Let's be honest. If it's tie ball game, 24-24, a minute and 30 seconds left, defense on third down, you think he's gonna be reading inner excellence? So. If he is, that's true, right? If he is reading inner excellence and he's about to go on the field and it's a minute 30 left, then you can say, you know what, this is what helps him out. But they up, right? And I'm not saying he's doing it for the cameras, but I'm just saying, the pressure's not really on. So we done seen people go on their phones. We done seen people, playing, rock, paper, scissors on the sideline. So him cracking open a book ain't no big deal.
Well, that's what I ask you too, is if, let's just say you get the 3 and out or whatever, or you have a long sustainable drive, either way, your time is off the field, the defense is going on. How much of that is how much in-game coaching will you generally get in between drives? And how often does that vary? And then what are you kind of doing the rest of the time? Because people want to say, well, support your teammates in that, but it's a 3-hour game. I mean, it's a long time.
Well, in the league, it's different because you have iPads. In college, you don't. Well, now you do have iPads. When I was playing, we didn't have iPads. So that whole thing is, it's different. I would say first drive of the game, especially offensively. Mm-hmm. Okay, defense came out in this. Offensively, after that first drive, you might not really get a full rest by yourself, depending on if defense goes 3 and if defense goes 3 and out, you're getting coached up the whole time, right? Because you just relaying back to the receiver coach, okay, this is what we plan on them coming out in, especially tight end. You have to do front and also shell coverage. So this is what they came out in. Along the lines of, we expected this, or the commonalities or the differences, explain that. So now the coach, what he sees from the sideline is the same as what you're seeing. And so you want to be on that same page, and then you can go to the film and say, remember this technique, this isn't going to work moving forward, this is going to work. And then so the first, I would say the first 3 drives, it's just transfer of information from player to coach, coach to player, making sure everyone's on the same page. So then once you get to a point where your second quarter in, third quarter in, you can just play. And of course, you just play the whole time, but you want to be on the same page. So the receiver coach or the tight end coach, whatever position coach you have, is able to communicate to the OC or communicate to, whoever's calling plays, and just say, hey, look, our guy is seeing this. You guys are trying to run, split zone, and this D end is crashing down. Let's slip behind them and do a quarterback keep. So like those are the type of conversations that come from the player. And so I would say the time, you can, if you got 10 minutes, let's say you got 10 minutes, TV timeouts are the best, of course, because then you can talk about it some more and this and this. But there should never be that much coaching on the sideline that it takes a whole defensive drive, except for the first drive, right? If you're coaching that much on the sideline, you didn't coach throughout the week. Let's just be honest. And you're probably not that good of a coach if you can't get the information out like that. Yeah.
Interesting. You just kind of run yourself through it and think about when you would crack open a book then at that time. Yeah. So, all right, let's take a quick break and we'll finish out What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington coming up next year, 93.7 The
Ticket. John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
The dangers of secondhand smoke are well known. But what about secondhand aerosol, which is created when using e-cigarettes? Science already shows a secondhand aerosol can contain nicotine, heavy metals, and cancer-causing agents. Eliminating exposure to secondhand aerosol is an important step to keeping everyone safe. Breathe easier knowing the facts.
For help quitting, call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, realignment, or even new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at doorsplusllc.com or give them a call at 402-590-5800.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical, we're ready, reliable, and recommended. Water heater acting up or your sump pump on the fritz? Call Action. Summer's around the corner. Is your AC working? Are you sure? Call Action. Electrical problems? I'm telling you, call Action. Call Action for a free same-day estimate or a trusted second opinion. You heard that right, a free same-day estimate. 402-423-6960. ActionLincoln.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people. Call them at 402-937-7114 to hear their menu options and get your catering booked today. Mulberry Barbecue, located at 11th and Cornhusker Highway.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday. You lost Wednesday. You're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. Back to What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Powered by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
We are back on What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington right here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Jake Bachman in studio alongside your host, Chancellor Brewington. Chancellor, what do we got for the final segment, What's Brewing?
Yeah, so Deion Sanders reportedly has been in talks with Jerry Jones about the Cowboys position, and some people saw this coming. Earlier this year, there was talks, him about the Raiders and stuff like that based on where Shador is going to go. What are your initial, what do you feel about this? Because you can hit this from 1,000 different angles, and some people feel 1,000 different ways about this, right? So what do you think?
Well, it's fascinating because the Dallas Cowboys job is, I think that's the biggest job that you would say could open in the NFL. But then there's the one thing about it is that Jerry Jones is hovering over your shoulder and looking over your shoulder. So, Troy Aikman even said, who is, obviously Super Bowl winning quarterback there, said he wonders or at least kind of led us to believe that it's not as coveted a position in coaching circles as maybe we would think from the outside. And maybe a lot of that has to do with Jerry Jones. But you just kind of think about the absolute craziness and excitement there would be around Deion in Dallas in the NFL, and just how long that would last would be fantastic. Just absolute cinema. So I would totally be looking forward to it. But as we were talking during the break, then the question turns to what would that mean for Colorado? Is there a contingency plan in place? I mean, you'd have to figure majority of that roster, because it's been moved around so much, came there for Deion, not necessarily for Boulder or to play for the Buffalo on the side of the helmet, So there's just a lot of different ways to take it. I don't think it would be good for Colorado, but I guess my main thing is that I think that there was premature talk about this a year ago at this time.
Right. And
now I think it's earned. So I think the conversation, if you're following the Deion story at times, can kind of be, he's just a popular player from back in the day, and he gets all this media attention that maybe he shouldn't, and that maybe he shouldn't be elevated to these positions. Well, now that you have a 9-win season under your resume, and you've got a Heisman Trophy winner on your resume, that changes the conversation quite a bit about whether he deserves to be in these conversations or not.
So if you're a Colorado fan, how are you feeling?
Scared. Because you were there for the 20 years prior to it.
Right. And I think it's kind of like you said, he leaves, most of the players are gone, but not only the players, maybe some staff and support staff. I mean, you could only imagine the endorsements, the brand deals, the type of, we talked about it off air. The enrollment rates in Colorado. Boulder in the city has benefited just from Prime being there. I mean, you can, it's almost invaluable. Of course, you can put a value on it, but it's like the exposure has been as if like, I don't know, Justin Bieber started, promoting your city. Like it's just, it's different, right? And so you look at the Jackson State transition from there to Colorado, I would say, looking back, I would say, he set up, Jackson State the right way, already had an established coach. They went in-house, didn't change a whole bunch of structure there. And Jackson State, I would say, still has benefited from it, kept the brand deals, kept all that stuff. Obviously, exposure went down because, prime is prime and he brings what he brings, but he left some exposure there too. I think he leaves a trail and some people stick there and some people followed him to Colorado, but I think the support is still there with Jackson State. Now, Colorado, it's this thing where your son is there, okay? And so I think I don't have a kid. You have a kid, but I'm sure, I mean, if you knew that if you went to NFL, your son would be more comfortable and would continue to elevate and progress as a player, and maybe that's something you guys have talked about, and that's a goal of your guys's, to for the obviously the father to coach son and son to be coached by the father. If that's a goal, then by all means go ahead. We see LeBron James and Bronny James being on the same team, although Bronny's G League a little bit, playing two-way contract. That's something they set out to do, and they did it. So I would say that's successful. So if Deion had since a young, since the days of Texas college football, saying, Shedeur, I want to coach you at the next level. And I don't know about the Shiloh situation, but Shedeur specifically, knowing he's going to be a top 10 pick, maybe 2, 3, 4, never know. But, if they had this set out and said, this is what we want to do, and we have an opportunity to do it, although he did say, I've heard him say on record and in Colorado interviews, I'm going to be here for a while. That's the tough part, right? But if the opportunity of a lifetime presents itself, I don't know if any well-rationed man, like just of a bit of intelligence, a bit of emotional intelligence too, could fault him for that. That's not only coaching your son at high school, not only coaching him at one college, not only coaching him at 2 colleges, but then being able to coach an NFL team, not only NFL team, a team that you played on, and be able to say you did that and then maybe do something great there. I mean, I guess, he's going to catch flack for all the old clips of him saying, I'm staying at Colorado for a minute, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and you'd think the time to go is now. Again, Colorado, the early Vegas odds for them to win next year is set at like 8.5, but it's hard to imagine they're going to be a better team next year. The idea, obviously, is to build the program so that losing a Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders doesn't hurt you so much. But I mean, it's obviously going to hurt you. I mean, you got 2 top 10 picks, like you said, but then you also kind of think, because there's one way of saying that, well, yeah, for his own career and doing that, but also you got to ask, does he, after having coached these guys up, his sons up all these years, does he want to coach against them? Because if he goes to Dallas, he's likely coaching against Shedeur Sanders at some point.
Unless there's some type of trade up situation that they already have.
I mean, they have Dak.
Yeah. So I don't know, but maybe this has always been a dream for him, and maybe this has always been a dream just to coach in the NFL. And if that's the case, then I mean, teach his own. I mean, if this was in your mind the whole time, then I would say you're wrong for saying that to the press, to the public. I mean, a lie is a lie is a lie, right? But at the end of the day, if this just came across you and all of a sudden your desire changed, right? You can't fault a man for his desire in life changing, his plans changing, abruptly. But Texas, Cowboys do things a little different, So maybe this has been in works for a while.
Yeah. I mean, and I agree with you. Certainly, things can change in life, and your goals can kind of change. And again, this would be the time to move if he does want to move off that job, or at least take that shot in the NFL, which a competitive person might want to do at the highest level. And he certainly is competitive. All right, that'll wrap it up for What's Brewing with Chancellor Brewington today on the block. Coming up next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
If you're sick of catering from the same places every month, it's time to switch things up. Mulberry Barbecue is perfect for business lunches and dinners, family gatherings, holiday parties, wedding receptions, rehearsal dinners, and so much more. Delivery and full service options are available, and they can cater for anything from 10 people to 500 people.